Hi everybody, it's your favorite gal pal, Scarlett Syanide, and we are back with another Scarlett Syanide's Sit and Sip. I am so excited to be back with y'all today. I hope everybody's been doing good. I hope everybody enjoyed the episode this week. Speaking of the episode, today we are going to be reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, Episode 6, the Sea Sickening Ball, which was a 3-category ball. If y'all don't know what a ball is, then I suggest you catch up and watch the episode. But 3 looks, and the last look that they had to create out of unconventional materials. There was also a lot of workroom drama. There was, y'all, the gates just keep coming. But before we get into all of that, what's everybody sipping on? You know, I actually, in true ADHD form, I have multiple drinks today. You know, I have to have the hydration. It's good. It's important and good to stay hydrated. Water. I don't know. What else is hydrating? Tea. I don't know. Probably other things too. And then I also have to have my caffeinated a hot beverage. She loves coffee, so I'm also sipping on coffee today in my Puerto Rico mug. If y'all are kind of like new to me in general, I love Puerto Rico. I went there one time, but I completely fell in love with it, and now every single day I cry a little bit because I'm not in Puerto Rico. Also wanted to give a thank you to Natasha D, who tipped me on Venmo last week. Now I am so excited. This channel, we've been growing, you've been liking, you've been subscribing, and that is exactly what we need. So that way I can continue to grow the channel and be able to offer y'all even more. If you want to support the channel, in addition to liking and subscribing, you can also send me a tip on CashApp, Venmo, or PayPal. So that's CashApp, $ScarlettsYanide, Venmo, @ScarlettsYanide, and then my PayPal tip QR code is just above. Y'all, it's that time. I want you to grab a seat, take a sip, and let's get into it. Let's talk about RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, Episode 6, the Sea Sickening Ball. Y'all, the girls just continue to give us good TV. Of course, this week was no exception. You know, I just gonna warn y'all now. I might potentially have some controversial opinions. I fully was not like really vibing with all of the selections this week for tops, bottoms, safe. We're going to get all into that. Ooh, also, I wanted to say that I actually have a little microphone that, you know, we're upgrading. Like I said, I'm trying to improve. So I got a little microphone. That's what this thing is. Can you hear me? Should I do ASMR? I don't know. Sorry about all that. My bad. Okay. So the girls go into the workroom, and, you know, I fully admit, I wasn't caught up on Untucked when we did the Sit and Sip last week. I watched the Untucked, and the girls called out Miss Susie 2, last week's winner, because they just said, girl, mama, your clown runway was not giving. We don't like the fashion sense, all of that thing. I mean, I'm sure the girls are aware, and I mean, production is probably helping this along, but Susie Toot is getting a little bit of the Jinx Monsoon storyline, the super amazing actress with lots of big ideas, funny, always delivers, but the runway is a challenge. The girls say, Miss Toot, the look is not tooting, but she says, well, I was on the top, and I won, so toodles. RuPaul comes in and has Norvina. She always shows up. I pretty much, you know, I'm sure every season, because she is the owner or runs, the daughter of the owner. she's one of the main people of Anastasia Beverly Hills. And girl, she came in the full drag. She came in giving you eleganza. She's always stunning, but she had a full ball gown when she came in today, which is actually really funny because Ru had the girls get into quick drag, specifically some like slut-tastic quick drag, and said, this challenge involves a glory hole and you better put on knee pads. So now some of the girls, I'm sure, were very used to that. They probably used their own knee pads. Other girls, like her Mona Lisa, you know, she said she had to call her pastor. So she was a little like, oh, this is sexual. I always kind of live. There's always like, you know, a conservative girl who's a little like, oh my gosh, RuPaul's Drag Race is slightly sexual jokes sometimes. Oh no. It's like, that's always how it's been, but it's always just funny. They need to pass a lipstick back and forth to their team members through essentially, you know, a hole. Glory hole, a hole in the wall, and then place the lipstick in a lipstick holder situation using nothing but their mouths. Ru team wins. Now, everybody on the Ru team got $500, so congrats to them. And then Ru goes ahead and says, ladies, we are doing a ball today. The overall ball challenge was the Sea Sickening Ball. And they were required to have 3 looks. The looks were Bathing Beauties, Sea Creature Couture, and then the final look was something about like the Pacific garbage heap extravaganza or something. There was a garbage heap. Garbage heap, take the unconventional materials, make them runway, sickening. La Roche was was one of the guest judges. La Roche was there, and the girls were shook. They were like, oh no, La is here. Judging this ball challenge where I'm wearing trash. It was Hunter Schafer, which was very, very cool. I have recently just like seen her in a lot of movies. Very much like if you didn't know her last year, you'll probably know her this year because now she's like doing everything. So that was really fun and very current. Now, before we get into the ball, we have to break down many workroom moments, workroom situations, including, of course, we have another gate. Girl, we're just like having to like jump across these gates, divas. It's like that track and field when they're running and then the hurdles. Oh, yeah, they're jumping hurdles. The gates are hurdles. We've had a lot of those already this season, but very good TV. But before we even get into spray paint gate, there was actually a lot of good workroom interaction between Ru and all of the divas this week. So along with building and designing their looks, everybody got to kind of come up in small groups of 3 and talk to Ru. And this was some of the girls' like first time getting feedback because they've just been safe every episode up until this point. But here we are, episode 6. And even though somebody didn't go home last week, the gaze needs to like narrow focus down. Like we need to start weeding these girls out. And Ru has some comments and critiques for some of them that I don't think they were expecting. Lana Jure, the first kind of like her real interaction with Ru, all Ru can talk to her about is, girl, the look you made for the Monopulence runway, we almost put you in the bottom for it because the hems weren't done and the seams were falling apart. And Lana was shook. Lana was like, they clocked the seams, they clocked the hem. Oh, like me just serving that model runway confidence look is not... doesn't make the judges blind to the what she's wearing. Now, another workroom moment that I thought was like really funny between Ru and a contestant was Sam Starr. Sam Starr dropped on us that Charles Barkley is her godfather. And first of all, I don't know nothing about sports. I know who Charles Barkley is just because Like I've said, I'm an 80s baby, so like Charles Barkley was referenced in Space Jam. Do y'all remember Space Jam? If you know, you know. Lola Bunny, come on, that was like gay awakening moment. Hello. I mean, I've heard of Charles Barkley. I understand that he is like an iconic person in the basketball world. Cher's mom and Charles Barkley apparently went to high school together. They're best friends, and still to this day, Sam has a godfather familiar relationship with Charles Barkley, and even dropped some of the photos of Charles at some drag shows. Now, a lot of the girls, as construction of the outfits starts continuing, there's a lot of things that are happening. We have Acacia, who's like clocking all the girls' outfits, saying they're ugly, they're ugly, they're ugly. So I'm feeling fine. Let's get to the spray paint gate in the room. Miss Lexi, she's spray painting her tarp, and she's, I guess, spray painting like lots of blues and stuff on there. But because the tarp is already blue starting out, Anya Nerve and Ariadne actually mistake Lexi's runway look for just like a tarp laying on the ground. They lay their clothes on top of it and spray paint their outfits on top of Lexi's look. I'm gonna take a sip. So the real gag was, I mean, that was already a gag, right? But accidents happen. Accidents happen. That's true. And I truly don't believe that anybody was doing anything malicious. I 100% believe that clearly Anya and Ariadne just didn't realize that, hey girl, like that's somebody's outfit. For whatever reason, let's call it like, maybe it was like a fight or flight reflex. I'm sure Anya was like kind of processing what was happening and whatever all the like underlying situations was. Anya did not say anything to Lexi when Lexi came in the room and blatantly out loud asked, "Who ruined my outfit?" And Lexi confronts Anya in the workroom and it's like, girl, I thought you were a sister. You should have said something to me when I came in here and asked, and instead you turned your back on me. If I was in Lexi's situation, y'all, I honestly would have felt the exact same way. I would have been really, really mad that if I walked in there and literally asked a point blank question and I got ignored. I was actually really surprised at Anya's response of like popping off back and not more being apologetic. But, you know, in those types of situations, response is to match the energy that they are receiving. So luckily, Lexi's had time to cool down. Everybody's had time to cool down. And Lexi pulls Ariadne and Anya aside and they completely make up. Anya's like, girl, it was a total accident. You know, everything was just happening so fast. I can't even explain why, you know, everything went down when it did, but it just did, and I'm sorry. And they apologize to each other for yelling at each other. I hope in the future with these gates and like Anya was involved in both of them. I don't know. Maybe this is a lesson in communication for everybody and just like asking questions and making sure like, hey, before I do something over here or take a trim or do whatever, how about I just like ask? Let's get to the runway. I really, really want to know what y'all thought about the runway, because I will say overall, this season has been like really blowing me away with runway looks and just the fashion sense and the keen eye that a lot of the girls have. Absolutely my least favorite runway of the season so far. I truly was like actually disappointed. I don't know if I'm alone in that feeling. Maybe y'all loved it. Maybe I'm controversial. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I didn't see the things with my eyes that I thought I saw. Creativity, the level of creativity and the level of execution that we have been getting in this season, I did not really see it in these first two runway looks. Let's talk about the bathing beauties category first. I'm going to focus on my tops and my bottoms of each runway category, and I want to start out with my tops. Let's start out on a good foot. So the Bathing Beauties category overall was my least favorite category. Personally, I thought anybody that just went the traditional, like, here's a cover up, here's a swimsuit. I'm like, really? Like, that's it? Like, that's where it's going to stop? I was just really surprised. Like, Michelle talked a lot at the end about one of the girls in the bottom, her Mona Lisa, that we want to see drag. We want to see, you know, that oomph. We want to see that larger than life, that extra, that cool new interpretation. I did not see this in the Bathing Beauty category. Definitely my two favorites of this category were Ariete. I mean, no shock. Ariete killed this entire ball. Ariete, I'm so glad she won. Congrats to her, especially like rebounding from getting the badonkadunk tank the last episode. This was such a beautiful, beautiful redemption arc for her. And I'm like, yes, I'm so glad she stayed. And I do like, oh my God, see, boop, boop, skipping around. I do like that Ariete was like, girl, I just knew it was 17. I think Susie even said, we just knew it was 17. So, correct. She stayed. And I'm so glad. Her Bathing Beauty look was by far my favorite look. I thought it was the most creative. And also she was able to bring Ariete the elf, her brand into it. My other top in general this week that was safe, which I'm like, is it just because she keeps being in the top? They didn't want to talk to her this time or what? Lexi Love. Oh my God. I loved her Bathing Beauties look. I love that she came out with basically the naked, like she's on the nude beach. It was different. It was fresh. Even though we've seen like the censor bar, she still always finds a way to reinvent that. So it was a very new look. She even had the little gag with the styled bush hair. I never thought I'd say styled bush hair, but you know, why wouldn't I say that though on this show? Why not? Yes, fun and very high fashion interpretation of the challenge. She was safe though overall. Those are my two favorites. Now, Crystal Envy, who was a top this week, she had it was fine. She did the Barbie reveal. As Michelle said, I'm kind of over just the first thing you think of references. I think that is something that I've been seeing a lot this season in general. Like some of the girls, they're jumping to that first thing you think of with a reference, and they're not like taking it a step farther. So she came out as Barbie. She had the Barbie swimsuit. She put on the bangs. It was cute. It was fine. I'm about to boot the toot. I personally think that Susie Toot was extremely lucky. Like, Hail Mary, like they literally threw her the lifesaver for her to be safe this week. I really did not like definitely two of Susie Toot's looks. Her Creature Couture was fine. It was fine. But this Bathing Beauties look, it was so drab and so undrag-like. Like in my personal opinion, the only drag element of it was the mustache. The fact that she was giving it the different gender. But it was safe. And honestly, like the fact that she didn't even get a warning, I'm just worried, is this fashion, the fashion misses that we are sometimes seeing from Susie, are they going to come crashing down around her? Is it going to catch up? She's got to be in the bottom, I think, eventually for these fashion looks. I hope they give her a warning. I think she was extremely lucky. And then the Amelia Earhart, the look that she made, I'm like, girl, drab colors. It's like literally giving me the same thing now, just repeated. And I think the critiques that they gave her Mona Lisa this week, who was in the bottom of, hey, all of your looks are nice. That's the thing too. At least her Mona Lisa's looks were like nice looking. So if y'all just want to point blank period, I think Hormona should not have been on the bottom this week. I think it should have been Susie too. If you literally look at their runway collections side to side, you cannot tell me Hormona Lisa's were not more interesting than what Susie delivered this week. It's just, I have eyes. You can't tell me that my eyes aren't seeing this. The next category was the sea creature category. These looks in this category were definitely better. There were some absolute standouts. I loved Anya Nerve's Starfish. That was sickening. That was high fashion. It just worked. The colors were beautiful. Once again, Ariete, our winner of the week, this lionfish was absolutely something to write home about. It was so beautiful. It was the only one, in my opinion, that really looked like it was giving you underwater. Just the execution of this dress was mind-blowing. It was so, so beautiful. I also really liked Jewel's Slug. I thought Jewel's Slug was a beautiful first look for the runway. And the colors, everything, it was so giving you eleganza, giving you the extravaganza. Now, they really enjoyed Crystal Envy's sea creature look. Personally, for me, I wasn't as blown away as like the Balmain reference or the McQueen reference. Whatever the references were with the shoes, I'm like, cool. Once again, I just wasn't overly impressed. I was surprised that Crystal was in the top. Personally, if I was going to switch, once again, somebody in the top, I would have put Lexi up there. Or interesting fashion-wise. Now, the Garbage Patch Extravaganza, the look that they had to make, this was all over the place. The tops of the weeks were, of course, Ariete. In my opinion, absolutely the best one. When she came out, I gasped. I thought her reinterpretation of these materials, the use of the spray paint, the use of like the whatever Law Roach was calling pus or something, was just so inventive. It's perfect. It was just honestly the perfect night for Ariete. Now, Crystal's look, it was a pink and yellow striped, which was, probably a callback to her Barbie runway. It was pink and yellow stripe. Essentially, it was a dress. It had some flowers on there. It was well made. I thought it was pretty, but I was once again surprised that it was in the top. The other top was Sam Starr. And this last look was honestly the epitome, I think, of the challenge intent was. Ariete, I think, went the cool fashion route, which was perfect. Sam gave you inventive, very like kind of political message as well, because she's like, I look beautiful in this trash, but also look how much trash there is. However, Stealing Beauty's look with the yellow, I was so surprised that the judges liked that. They said it was very clean. Girl, no. I thought it was really, really boring, and I actually don't think that the top of the swimsuit fit her well. I thought it was like sitting up weirdly high. Bottom girls were Hormona Lisa. They literally put her in there. Well, honestly, I feel a little validated because they essentially put her in the bottom for what I've been complaining about this entire season with her, which is where everything is like nice and fine and pretty, but that's it. Finally caught up with her today. And although, once again, I really think Miss Toot deserved to be in the bottom, they put Hormona in the bottom, and they said, Acacia, you're safe, which I think was appropriate. Acacia's first look, I did at least like that it was campier than everybody else's Bathing Beauty's look. But I mean, all of the critique that Hormona Lisa got this week, which ultimately sent her packing, Acacia needs to look at that and be like, this is also for me. So otherwise, Acacia's gonna be in the bottom next week. Absolutely. Now, Acacia was safe. Hormona Lisa was in the bottom, and she was in the bottom with Lana Giray. Lana had a very rough week this week. Her first look was a swimsuit. It was literally just a swimsuit. It was the tiniest, skimpiest little swimsuit. So confused about a lot of these swimsuits, y'all. Like Lana's sea urchin look, a dance bodysuit, and then the look that she made, they were, you know, the judges were correct with the feedback. It was, well, you didn't come out in a corset. You came out in something. Law called out Lana's confidence, and I definitely think that was a huge thing that played into it. For some reason this week, and maybe it was the critiques, honestly, that Ru gave her about the hem. Like, maybe that really shook her in the workroom. I just really wasn't seeing a fire in Lana this week. So much so that when I was watching the lip sync, I really didn't know who was going to go home. What did y'all think? Did you know that Lana was going to stay? Like, who did you think was going to win? Because it was really touch and go. At the beginning, I'm like, oh, Ramona's giving more. But then near the end, Lana like started picking up the pace a little bit. But honestly, when they were standing out up there, I didn't know if Ru was going to be like, Ramona stay, Lana stay. Ultimately, Ramona gets sent home. She was saved the very, very first episode. So she already got her second chance. As much as I think Ramona does give really, really good TV, and I personally, I'm going to miss Ramona in the Snatch Game because next week is Snatch Game. I do think if we were going to be like, okay, track record, fair, Lana, get your second chance, girl. I hope Lana can regain that fire and really give us something, because next week is the Snatch Game. I'm a little shook, though. The preview made it sound like it might be a rough Snatch Game. I did see Lexi is giving Gilbert Godfrey what I thought was hilarious. The transformation looks utterly insane. So I'm excited. You know, I love a good snatch. All right, divas, we've sat and chatted. Now it's time for you to take a sip, because here are some of my reactions to this week's episode. I am so glad that Ariadne is staying. This feels correct. They didn't drag out the badonkadunk tank too long, which I really appreciate. I'm obsessed. She's like, I sent her home though, and it's a little bit of the vibe that Hormona Lisa was feeling, like, oh, they're not super excited that I won. They said this is what it takes. They said we need to be a clown and we need to do the Morse code. Oh, the girls are like, oh, you can wear knee pads when you do this? Hilarious. She's like, not my values. Yes, I am ready for this challenge. I'm ready for the drama. I'm ready for the unconventional materials. Yeah, let's get Sea Sickening Ball, Ru. I agree. It is time. I have webbed toes and I swim like a superstar. Damn, you know who has not been in this at all so far? Acacia Forgot. I did forget about her until they just showed her on camera. Ew. That part. You need to fix your hems, girl. Fix the hem. There's a hem everywhere you look. Yeah, that's definitely the horror movie person that was in, they in Long Legs, or were they in, yeah, I think Long Legs. Or were they in that other movie that I didn't like? They were either in that movie that I liked, or they were in that movie that I didn't like. But I saw a movie with them in it recently. Girl, Wes and Anya. Spray paint gate. Oh my God, no. Sam's like, you know what? Let the girls fight. Baked potato titties. So let's do some balling. Is that what they say? Do the kids say balling? Oh, wow. Mama Roo said metal. You know, I like the dress from far away. It's not my favorite up close. Yeah, safe. I think Susie Toot is extremely lucky that she's safe. Lexi looks crazy! And Alyssa's there! Welcome back, divas. I hope you enjoyed my reactions. I cannot wait to hear what y'all thought about this episode. Did you think the runways were good? What did you think about Spray Paint Gate? There's a lot to talk about. Who's going to be in the top? Who's going to do well in Snatch Game? I can't believe we have to wait a whole other week. Don't forget, we'll be back next week like we are every Monday for Scarlett Syanide's Sit and Sip. And there's going to be some Scarlett Syanide School for Sexy People coming out sometime this week too, so keep your eyes open for that. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, divas. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk again soon. Until next time, bye. I have 4 penises.